Have you ever felt like you're giving everything you have, but it's never enough? Like no matter how hard you push, you just can't keep up? That's exactly how James felt when he walked into my clinic. A young man on the verge of burnout, struggling to balance his life. What if I told you that sometimes the answer isn't pushing harder, but finding the right balance? Let me share with you a powerful lesson from the life of Buddha and Prince Sona that changed everything for James, and might just change everything for you too.
Hello, I am Dr. Alexander Grant. I help people with physical and mental problems. I am a psychologist. I remember one particular day in my clinic. I was sitting at my desk, immersed in a book, when there was a soft knock on the door. I called out, "Come in!" And in walked a young man, perhaps in his early 20s. He looked troubled. His eyes were cast down, and he barely glanced around the room, let alone at me. The young man introduced himself as James. I could see the weight he carried on his shoulders, so I greeted him warmly and asked, "How are you doing?" James sighed, then said, "I'm very depressed and feel mentally unstable. Whatever I do, it feels like I'm not giving enough time or effort, and I end up burned out. When I study, I forget to take breaks or even sleep at night. It's been like this for 3 months or maybe longer. I can't think clearly or make decisions." It was clear James was pushing himself to the edge. He reminded me of so many people who come to me trying to do everything at once, but ending up exhausted. I knew immediately that what James needed was balance in his life. I leaned forward and said, "James, in life, you can't do everything at the same time. You need to prioritize. It's important to balance your health with your career, your sports, and your hobbies. Let me tell you a story. Do you know how to play the guitar or sitar?" His face showed a flicker of recognition. "Yes, I used to play the guitar," he said. "Good, good," I replied, smiling. "This is a story about Lord Buddha, Prince Sona, and the music of life. Listen carefully." I began to tell the story, knowing it would resonate with James. At the time of Gautam Buddha, there was a prince named Sona. Sona was known for his wealth and comfort, living a life of luxury surrounded by pleasures. Yet when he heard the teachings of Buddha, something shifted in him, and he decided to renounce his princely life to become a monk. When Sona approached Buddha, asking to be initiated into monkhood, Buddha hesitated. He knew Sona's background and the challenges he might face. Buddha said, "Sona, I know your life. Think this over carefully. I will stay here for 4 months during the rainy season. There's no rush." But Sona was adamant. "Once I decide something, I don't reconsider. You must initiate me now," he said. Despite Buddha's warnings about the hardships of the monk's life, no luxuries, not even a full meal each day, Sona was resolute. And so Buddha reluctantly initiated him. But Sona took his devotion to the extreme. Instead of living like the other monks, he fasted for days on end, meditated under harsh conditions, and pushed his body to the brink. 6 months later, Sona was a shadow of his former self, frail, exhausted, and broken. One night, Buddha visited Sona and woke him. He asked, "You were once the greatest sitar player in the country, weren't you?" Sona, puzzled by the timing of the question, nodded. "Yes, but why are you asking this now?" Buddha continued, "If the strings of a sitar are too tight, will it play beautiful music?" "No," Sona replied, "the strings would break." "And if the strings are too loose?" Buddha asked. "They won't produce any music at all," Sona answered. Buddha smiled softly and said, "Exactly. Life is like a sitar. If you live too tightly, pushing yourself to extremes, there will be no harmony. If you live too loosely, without care or discipline, there will be no music. The key is balance. Don't swing from one extreme to the other. Find the middle path, where true peace and harmony can be found." I paused and looked at James. His eyes reflected a deep sense of understanding, as if a light had switched on in his mind. I said, "James, health is just as important as your career. You don't have to do everything in one day. Plan your time. Give yourself 6 to 7 hours of sleep, study for 1 to 2 hours in the morning, and leave time for sports or relaxation in the evening." James seemed to consider this for a moment, then nodded slowly. "That sounds like a good idea," he said. "I'll try it this week." I smiled, knowing he was beginning to grasp the lesson. It's important to take breaks and prioritize yourself. I hope you've learned something from Buddha's story. James left my clinic that day with a renewed sense of direction. I could only hope that, like Prince Sona, he would find his own balance and let the music of his life play in harmony. If you enjoyed this story and found the message helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might need a little balance in their life. Your support helps us bring more meaningful stories to you.